In a small village in China, the annual lion dance performance is about to take place. This exciting event features performers wearing lion masks and showing off their amazing tricks. Yuan, a young boy, is really impressed by the dancers and dreams of becoming one himself. The best team in the village is called Black Tiger, but their leader, Rocky, is super arrogant, which makes Yuan dislike him. They beat him and snatched his lucky card. Just then, a mysterious figure with a lion's head appears. This lion-headed person snatches the card back from the leader and sends it flying to the top of a tower. This means the mysterious person in a lion mask challenges Rocky. The challenge is to see who can grab the card hanging above first. The competition kicks off. The mysterious person is super quick and seems like he will win, but the tower starts to fall apart. Despite the chaos, they keep climbing to reach the top. And surprisingly, the masked figure wins by taking down the card. In the middle of the chaos, Yuan discovers that the person behind the mask is actually a girl named Lily. But Rocky refuses to admit defeat. Rocky orders his team to catch her, but Yuan quickly helps her escape on his bicycle, and they ride up a mountain together. Once they reach the top, they quickly bond over their love for lion dancing. Lily then gives him her lion head and hands him a flyer for an upcoming lion dance competition in their village. Lily encourages Yuan not to see himself as weak. Lily tells him to listen to his inner voice, which is urging him to be brave like a lion instead of a coward. After wishing him good luck, she leaves, and that's when Yuan realizes that the girl he met has actually won the last dance contest. Later, when he gets home, he spends New Year celebration with his grandfather. In the meantime, he gets a call from his parents. His parents moved to another city to get a better job. Yuan reassures them not to worry about him. He has grown into a strong young man. But deep down, he really misses them. That night, he decides to join the lion dance and win the contest, so he can go to the city and see his parents. Inspired by this new goal, the next day, he meets up with a friend named Kot. He tells his friend about his plan. But at first, Kot laughs at him, but he changes his mind when he sees the lion mask. Now, they need a drummer for their team, and Kot suggests Dodo, who works at a nearby meat shop. Dodo says he has no rhythm. However, his friends convince him to be part of the team. They march through the town, announcing that they will be the champions of the contest. However, they run into Rocky. Rocky insults them, saying they are worthless and that's why their parents left them. This makes Yuan feel like giving up on the lion dance. After all this, they spot a lion dance training school nearby, which inspires them to believe they can learn and become great too. They feel motivated again and head to school the next day, but no one talks to them, and they wait all day and night for someone to let them in. After a long wait, an old man tells them the master's on vacation, leaving Yuan feeling down. However, the old man gives them a map to find a great master with amazing skills. They keep drawing one map after another, but because of the old man's mistake, they keep failing. They get into trouble a lot, which makes them worried. So, the boys decide to take the old man with them as a guide. They soon find out that the place they were looking for is just a short walk from town, and it turns out to be a fish market. The boys think the old man tricked them again. Then the old man introduces them to a fisherman named Roman. Roman shows off some dance moves. He pretends the basket he's carrying is a monster's head, impressing everyone until his wife scolds him for dancing and sends him to distribute fish. The boys keep following Roman and eventually catch up with him. They help him with the fish, hoping he will train them. But he tells them he's just a fish seller and he can't teach them. The next day, the boys chase after the fisherman all day, begging him to teach them. They don't let him work in peace. Finally, after seeing how determined they are, Roman agrees to train them. Then Roman takes them to a field to see their skills. When they perform, everyone laughs at them. Roman tells them they are still too weak and need to improve. Yuan feels really down and wonders why people think he's worthless without giving him a chance. He just wants an opportunity to prove that they aren't meant to fail. Then Roman encourages them, saying it's important to be strong and that they need to physical training at first. The next day, he secretly trains them from his wife. He teaches them to dance moves that require survival skills and reflexes because lion dancing combines dance and martial arts. One night, Roman's wife surprises them with lion dance costumes so they can practice, having discovered their secret. Roman is grateful for her support, and he starts to cry. Then she tells the boys that her husband was once the best lion dancer, but everything changed when they got married. Since lion dancing doesn't pay well, she had asked him to stop dancing to find a job and pay their bills. That's why Roman gives up on his dreams and becomes a frustrated fisherman, known in town as a loser. Now, she sees a chance for him to be happy again by training the boys. Inspired by her story, the boys work even harder to win the town's dance contest, practicing day and night. Roman becomes more dedicated to them, and one day he decides to spend his savings on costumes from a store that sells the best lion dance gear. After buying some for the boys, they thank him and head to their first practice match. However, at the start of the match, the other team was really aggressive, hitting the Yuan team hard. The boys fell to the ground during their first encounter, showing they weren't quite ready for a tough competition. Their first loss really brought them down, making them feel like all their hard work was for nothing. But Roman stepped in to lift their spirits. He pushed them to train harder, focusing on agility and strength by having them lift weights. The boys were dedicated to their training, and even Yuan decided to cut his hair so it wouldn't block his vision while wearing the lion mask. After all this, they made amazing progress, and Roman felt proud of them. The next day, they join a tournament against the same blue team they've been training with. Yuan feels nervous about the competition. When the match starts, a coin is cut, and they realize they're too late to bring it. Yuan apologizes, seeing the disappointment on their faces, but then he shows them his winning pass, which brings tears of joy to his eyes. After that, Yuan's parents return, and he rushes to greet them, but he finds out that his father is in a coma from an accident, which makes him very sad. Heartbroken, he left the house and went to the forest, asking the sky why this was happening to him. After thinking it over, he returned home and told his family he would go work in the city to earn money for his father's treatment. He said goodbye to everything, taking Lion's head with him, while his friends promised to wait for him so they could dance together again in the tournament. This scene was very emotional. Once he arrived in the city, he took on any job he could find, working really hard and often putting in extra hours, even facing mistreatment from his bosses. He had to adjust to life in the city without friends and sometimes even slept on the floor. Meanwhile, his dance team back home continued to perform shows to raise money for his family. They realized he might not return, so they decided to participate in the dance tournament in the city, hoping to find Yuan there. Later, while making a delivery, Yuan runs into Lily. She asks him what he's doing there, and he thinks he's there for an experiment. She mentions the lion mask, saying it must have helped him practice a lot, but Yuan doesn't respond. Then, his stand comes up, and he hops off the tab. Lily tells him to wait for her at the tournament, which leaves him feeling let down. Later that night, Yuan goes to a delivery spot where a team called Hunter is getting ready for the tournament. They make fun of him for being late with the food. But Yuan doesn't pay attention to their insults. Still, their words hurt him deeply. Now, he thought he would never be happy again. To escape his sadness, he went up to the roof of a building that night. While everyone else was asleep, he started dancing with his lion's head on, which was the only thing that made him feel a little better. He dances until sunrise. Then he decided to move to another city for work. He left his lion's head behind and headed to the train station, but on the way, they spotted a stadium. They decide to check it out, where the tournament is about to begin. Many participants have come to compete. Then Yuan saw his friends there. He wished they could all dance together one last time, but he couldn't stop thinking about saying goodbye to the lion dance forever. The contest kicked off, and hundreds of lions faced off to see who would move on to the next round. Yuan's friends tried their best to stay in the competition, but they were short one member and were struggling against the others. Just when it seemed like they were about to lose, Roman used his secret technique. He took off his shoes, releasing toxic fumes that made everyone else feel sick, and cleared the way for his team. But the effect of the poison wore off when other team members sprayed air fresheners. For this, the other lions regained their strength, leaving Roman's team behind. Just when it looked hopeless, Yuan showed up with his lion's head and helped his teammates. His friends and Lily become very happy to see him. Their skills hadn't faded, and thanks to Yuan, they managed to move on to the next round. Now, only 4 teams were left to compete. To make it to the semifinals, all the lions pushed through the water, trying hard to become finalists. After a few tough battles, Yuan's team managed to reach the final round, only to find out they would be up against the boys who had previously underestimated them. Now, the final kicked off with both teams throwing kicks and punches, nearly knocking each other off the platform and out of the game. But somehow, both the lion team and their rivals stayed in the competition, ending up in a surprising tie. This led to a sudden death contest where the players had to jump over poles and reach the finish line with perfect moves. The opposing team started with a dance that wowed the judges, earning them a high score. Now it was Yuan's team's turn to outshine them. Yuan was determined to win, even though he had hurt his leg in the last battle. He pushed through and continued with the contest. They jumped over the poles without too much trouble and were careful when they walked across the tightrope in the middle of the path. They almost lost their balance. But then, Yuan paused his dance, and just as they were about to reach the finish line, he gazed at the tallest pole. Yuan remembered his teacher saying that there was always a pole that no one could jump over, and now Yuan wanted to prove that nothing was impossible. So, he asked his friend to help him. At that moment, the crowd noticed his determination and started cheering him on, while the other teams that had been eliminated encouraged him too. He took a step back to build up speed and made a huge leap, looking like a lion pouncing on its prey. To everyone's surprise, Yuan fell into the water, and the crowd went silent, thinking he had failed. But suddenly, they all turned to the pole and saw that the lion's head had landed on top. This amazing feat was called a miracle and was announced on the radio and TV, which Yuan's father was listening to. And that's how a loser becomes a famous lion dancer with courage and determination. In the end, this news seemed to bring everyone together. If you enjoyed the movie, please leave a like and comment, so I can like your comment and know you want more movies like this. Thank you.